Who's ready for another hilarious and relatable review of The Bachelor this week? I know I am. Hi, I'm Mixie with NC Magazine, here to grace your timeline with the highlights of Week 4's episode. After the rose ceremony, Chris Harrison came in and explained to the girls that this show was going to take them to magical places. And where was this first fantasy land they were going to? Wait for it, Milwaukee. And their genuine confusion but trying to act surprised kind of made my day.
All of you will be joining Nick this week in his hometown of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Danielle L. went on the first one-on-one date, and it was painful to say the least. The two happened to run into Nick's ex, who happened to be mic'd up. What a coincidence.
Oh, hey, like, that's my ex, like, kind of threw me off. I wasn't really sure how to react, but, yeah.
All I'm gonna say about this date is this. If I was out with a guy and ran into one of my exes, the last thing I would do is go and introduce them to each other and then sit down and have coffee with them. Like, why the hell? Skip ahead to the group date where Team Corinne finally graced us with her presence. She was not happy about the location of this date, and who can blame her? What I respect is the fact that she was not afraid to voice her concerns.
Can't escape the poop. It's like everybody trying to poop, poop, poop. Thank God I didn't wear designer today.
I mean, really, can you blame her? It's clear as day that this guy has never spent a day in his life at a barn, and he currently lives in Chicago, so can you explain to me the point of this date? After the group date was a group cocktail party where 30 minutes of Corinne bashing ensued. I don't know what their problem was. All this girl needed was a little bit of sushi and a bit of alcohol, and then she would be fine. This is what happens when you take her nanny away from her. The next day, Nick and Raven went on a one-on-one date with Nick's little sister and her soccer team. While Nick was rollerblading, Raven was sitting there and discussing her life with Nick's little sister. If a guy sticks you with his little sister and does figure eights while you're talking about what you want to do with your life, you should really reconsider your relationship. They continued their date and seemed to have a good time. I think that, again, this girl is really cute, but just too cute and too sweet for a douchebag like Nick, but we'll see what happens. Then there was a cocktail party, and a little piece of me thought that maybe there could be a rose ceremony, but nope, I was let down again. And instead, I got Taylor whining about Corinne and Team Corinne pouring alcohol down her throat.
Gathered here together. I know that I may not be everyone's favorite person.
Shut up. Corinne got sick of the whispers and decided to pull Taylor aside to have a conversation. Now, the thing that I find most ironic about this is that all of these girls are talking about how immature and slutty and awful that Corinne is, yet she was the one that was an adult and pulled Taylor over to the side to have an adult conversation with her.
Listen, I'm not an idiot. I run a multi-million-dollar company, and I don't appreciate you treating me like an idiot. So stop treating me like a idiot, Taylor.
Team Corinne strong. And just like that, another episode is over. For more on this episode, past episodes, or any other entertainment news, head on over to nctmag.com. But until then, I will see you next week.
I see you. I see you.
Milo, are you ready for a super relatable review of The Bachelor?